Welcome back to North of the Broad. I'm your host, Karen Wyman, coming to you from Higher Ground in Beaufort. I'm joined this afternoon by Jeff Bummer from Grand Oak Wealth Management. Welcome to North of the Broad.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're really glad that you're here. So tell us about Grand Oak Wealth Management and how you came to create the company.
You know, I spent 27 years as an employee at a large brokerage firm. I saw things that I really wanted to do different that I thought would create a better experience for my clients. After I created Grand Oak Wealth Management, I was joined by fellow financial advisor Kevin Braddock and branch administrator Devin Purrier. You know, combined we have nearly 40 years of investment experience.
That's wonderful. So you have a lot to offer your clientele.
Oh, absolutely.
So what are the main reasons people come to Grand Oak Wealth Management?
Karen, that's a great question. You know, everyone is unique and has their own reasons, but there are four themes that we generally hear frequently. First is saving for college for a child or grandchild. A parent or grandparent, they really want to help that child attend the school of their choice, but it's so expensive.
Very expensive, yes.
The second thing we hear from people and help them with is accumulating money for retirement.
Of course.
You know, it could be individuals doing it themselves, or it could be through a business retirement plan.
So if you're a small business here in Beaufort or the surrounding area and are looking to create that sort of asset benefit for your employees, you can do that for people.
Absolutely. Benefits are so important to employees, and we help them to set up retirement plans, and it can be good for the employees, but beneficial for the business too.
Of course, yes.
Once people do have that retirement plan, then they worry about or come to us for creating a rising income during retirement. Okay. And then the last thing, once they have secured all of those financial goals, well, then they want to effectively and efficiently pass their legacy on to the next generation.
So they have a plan.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you guys are right on Carteret Street. Yes. I've seen over the last, I'd say, year or so, that space that you purchased be renovated. It's taken a little bit longer than you had initially hoped, but you're right there on Carteret Street, just a block or so away from the chocolate tree and the construction company that we just saw got some water damage. Were you guys affected by that in any way? You
know, I had maybe one cup full of water that made it onto the floor. We were almost bone dry, and it's a miracle because just down the street they had 2 or 3 feet of water.
Yeah, I know. When I saw your name in here, I'm like, oh, I hope that they weren't impacted because I do remember all your renovations. But going back to some of the things that you want to share with our viewers, what are the main concerns you're hearing from investors these days? Because obviously those things change as the financial market changes.
You know, they do, but the single largest concern that we hear really doesn't change. And that's people are concerned that they could run out of savings and investment. People are living longer, they're spending more time in retirement. Many people actually are retired longer than they work. So
That's
the greatest concern that we hear is they may outlive their money. And tied closely to that is, of course, the rising cost of health care that they have to deal with in retirement.
Right, so even if they have Medicare, they still got to pick up that supplemental, which is expensive.
Absolutely.
So you help people with that as well?
We help them with their full financial future. We help them create the plan.
The big plan, the master
Absolutely.
plan, right? So what can people expect from your company when they come to see you or one of your other teammates, as you mentioned?
Great question. What they can expect from us is that we're really going to take the time to get to know them. We're going to get to know their goals, what's important to them and their families. We're going to learn a lot about them before we even make the first investment recommendation.
That's great. And I think people probably really don't know a lot about financial investments and investing. And they know obviously they need an expert, and that you've got to create that trust with the client so the client really feels like you have their best interest in mind.
That's right. And you can't help somebody if you don't really understand their situation.
And what the big picture is.
Exactly.
And what their goals are, obviously. So what's your vision long-term for Grand Oak Wealth Management?
Great question, one I'm passionate about. Well, first of all, we want to make sure that all of our clients feel more comfortable, confident, and secure planning for their future, their financial future. Beyond that, we want to actually expand and grow Grand Oak Wealth Management so we can help even more people throughout the Lowcountry.
Excellent. So obviously there's big things on the horizon for you all, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you could give an investor one piece of advice, what would it be, Jeff?
You know, I think the best advice I could give was already given by Benjamin Franklin. He said, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You cannot be successful financially by accident. You have to create a plan. Once you create that plan, you have to continue to monitor it and make sure you stay on track. And that's really the key to what we do at Grand Oak Wealth Management.
Excellent. So I'm so happy that you were able to come and share all of your information about Grand Oak Wealth Management. We wish you lots of success in your location there that you guys have worked so hard at Carteret St. And that you're here in the Beaufort community and that you're really an asset to those people who are looking for someone to help them with all their financial goals.
Well, thank you, Karen. Thank you very much.
So much. We're right back with our next guest on North of the Broad.